It's articles like today that remind me exactly why I cannot leave the topic of better, saner sex laws, more accurate sex offender registries, and filing systems, educational programs about what can make you a sex offender and why, as well as just reworking the laws in general, because then people don't care. You're a sex offender, you're automatically put in the same category as offending pedophiles, and therefore you are the scum of the earth. We don't care about your rights. We don't care about your family. We'll put your addresses wherever we damn well please, and if a vigilante takes you out, well, that's just one less bad element taken out of society. Never mind that you can become a sex offender for peeing outside of a bathroom within 300 yards of a school or a police station. Never mind you can become a sex offender for paying for sex. Never mind you can become a sex offender for being the one who's being paid to have sex with, or prostituting yourself out, or exposing yourself to other adults can make you a sex offender. Or no, the more important one, the one that people just don't seem to like to address. Being 17 years of age and having sex with your 17-year-old high school sweetheart, and the parents find out and they don't approve of it, so therefore you, as the male, go to jail, not little Miss Jane down the lane there, who is most likely the person who initiated the sexual encounter in the first place. But not always, and I don't want to try to overgeneralize here because this is all about overgeneralization. The people in these cities, the people in these stories, they don't care what you do. They don't even care to go to the registry and find out what you did. And some of the registries, they won't even put what you did there. And when the word sex offender can be used as another word for pedophile, then you start to see why I have a problem with this story, and why I don't think this is a novel way to solve the sex offender problem. Because I know people whose lives have been ruined by sex offender laws who did not, repeat, did not were not involved with children for their particular crimes. I've also known that, as I've stated many, many times, only 5% of sex offenders, some of whom are pedophiles, some of whom are situational rapists, but only 5% are not rehabilitatable. And when it comes to recidivism rates, they're already rather low. As stated in my series, which is links to my channel, and the playlist about the research is down in the underbar. I'm not just pulling this out of my butt, folks, but most people who have an opinion about sex offenders are. And that's when you get situations like today's article. City's novel way to oust perverts. Build a tiny park. Because sex offenders can't live nearby. To oust perverts. Oh, so if you happen to get drunk and pee outside of a bathroom, you're a pervert. If you're underage and you have sex with your underage sweetheart, you're a pervert. Fuck you. I'm sorry. I'm breaking my rule today because fuck you. You don't care what these people did. You don't care what kind of a threat or non-threat these people might be. No, you just care that they're a sex offender, and you have only one type of sex offender in your mind. You've already delegated the 33 people who will be featured in this story without, by the way, talking about what they did, which is important. Because then we might actually have sympathy. Oh, we want to get rid of maybe, let's say, 25 of those 33 people were, say, urinators outside, just for the sake of argument, because typically this is what you're going to find in a population of these types of people here. So to get the other, 8 people who might actually have been in their past what you would dub child diddlers, you're going to basically make homeless or make an even more difficult situation, because never mind these people have such trouble finding homes as it is or apartments as it is, to try to piece their life back together, to gain things like friends, family, maybe even a healthy relationship. In other words, to have things to lose, to have things that they would care about, that would create, to have the things that would make these people into successful, productive, non-offending members of society. But no, again, you don't care. Now, if all 33 are convicted child molesters, even though, as I've talked about, there's such a thing as non-exclusive child molesters, there's situational rapists, and so on and so forth, there are people who can successfully have adult relationships with adult people and never have their offense become an offense again. But no, because of thought crime and preconceived notions, you want to mark these guys all as child molesters. But again, I'm not saying that I agree with allowing child molesters to be around any kind of parks. I don't have a major problem with this. I have a problem with it when everybody else who has had who has not had some sort of violent sex crime against either children or adults is put into the same category as child molesters and treated as if they are child molesters because, again, of preconceived notions and nothing else. Los Angeles has started building a city park that will be smaller than some backyards, only a fifth of an acre in size. No matter, explains the LA Times, the point isn't to celebrate the great outdoors, it's to force 33 registered sex offenders out of an apartment building in the Harbo Gateway neighborhood. They'll have to move by the time the park is finished this summer because state law prevents such convicts from living within 2,000 feet of a park or school. Never mind that this actually does nothing to prevent recidivism when recidivism would be present, but, you know, I digress. Park or school. 2 other city pocket parks are in the works for exactly the same reason. Even though critics say they infringe on the rights of the convicts, which they do, and will force them into more condensed pockets in the city, which if these people are everything that you say they are, then this is much worse than having them being where they're at. Oh, but no, you don't care about that. You don't care about the actions of your solutions. You just care that your brand of justice gets carried out because you don't like these people because A, they're a convict, and B, much worse, they're a sex offender. You don't care what they did, just like at times you don't care what a regular convict did. The moment they step outside the bounds of the law, whether sexually or otherwise, you don't care about them. You don't give one iota care about how you could rehabilitate them, how communities could help turn these people into people who don't then go into another life of crime or into gangs, because they have something to lose, because they don't feel like the garbage that you constantly make them into, and then act surprised when they act out of frustration. Not that I'm saying that it's okay that they act out. I'm just saying, though, you're creating the very same monsters that you claim that you're trying to prevent with these laws, with this solution. Oh, but what am I talking about? You don't care. If an underage boy has sex with his underage girlfriend, you don't care. They are perverts. They're sexual deviants. This is the same kind of thinking that you try to trot out when somebody who is maybe, say, promiscuous gets raped, so that because they're outside of the bounds of your moral acceptance, you don't care about them. They're a non-person to you. You don't care what happens to them. You don't care what they do so long as it doesn't affect you in the long run, even if it might affect other people. Even if you're setting up other people to get hurt, you don't care. And it sickens me. This sickens me because this is the witch hunt 2.0. Oh, we can't vigilante kill these people based off of preconceived notions, so we'll continue to keep pushing them further and further out of the city. Never show me what crimes these 33 did. Can you name that for me? Newsers sure didn't, because they don't care. Can you show me or demonstrate where any of these 33 are a demonstrable problem, or are exhibiting that they are going to be a future problem? What, because of preconceived notions? Because some of them are probably pedophiles, and pedophilia is a sexuality, and just because you don't act upon or don't rape every woman or man that you find attractive, somehow their sexuality is so much different than yours, and therefore they have to act out? Look, if these 33 don't have a compulsivity disorder, don't have some sort of antisocial personality disorder, which would make them a danger, which would probably make them part of that 5% that can't be rehabilitated, then what have these people done other than being convicted of a crime that you know nothing about? You don't know the severity of it. You don't know if there was a victim involved, because where's the victim in peeing outside of a bathroom within 300 yards of a school or a police station, especially if it's after hours away from the school, or maybe during the night shift of the police station? Where is the harm that is being done there? Where is the mental trauma and the danger and the damage that's being done there? I'm not asking you to like convicted sex offenders. I am asking that maybe you examine these laws. You talk to families who are afflicted by this, some of whom can't get married because the law says that, oh, you know, this lady has a child, so this guy, even though his only crime was being a teenager and having sexual relations with another teenager, he can't marry his wife, the love of his life, because she happens to have a child. In fact, they can't even live together because, oh yeah, he's such a danger to that child. He's going to teach that child such bad behavior because he was a horny teenager doing what horny sexual being teenagers do. This is not a solution. This is disgusting. And if you can't see why this is disgusting, then you already have closed off your mind. You don't care about the situations we could be fixing, not with micro parks, but with actual legislation and with actual attitude changes to actually bring people into the community who can be non-offending members of society, helpful members of society. Instead, you want to treat them all as garbage because